Yes, actually, once this starts, I can show Charlotte where the counter is. And keep an eye on that, but you should be good to go now.
Okay. All right, we are already in open session for the November 5th meeting of the Little Compton Agricultural Conservancy Trust. First order of business is to review and vote on some minutes from the meeting of October 1st. May I have a motion to approve the public session minutes from October 1st, 2025?
Before we have that motion, I'd like to make seemed like there was some edits, some minor
Yeah,
changes on
so
that.
let me take a motion and then discussion and you can mention those. Okay, so a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to, to correct the Washington Trust checking amount to 26,456. It's currently listed as 426. The Washington Trust money market account should be 2,970,775. Some minor typos there, I think. And the Washington Trust savings account should be 1,451,615.
Can you share those with Cheryl there? And
Yes.
great.
And the total of all accounts therefore changed to 4,448,845.
Okay. With those amendments.
I think there's one addition to also in the invoices. I believe, Cheryl, what, there was a Martin printing invoice that I noticed wasn't listed as a bill to be paid for 1,189. That probably should be added.
So it wasn't in the original presentation?
I think it was in the presentation, but it wasn't.
Just not in the minutes.
So I picked up on it.
Thank you, Steve.
There you are.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from October 1st, public session?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the executive session from October 1st, 2025?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there anyone interested on the trustees or the public who wants to pull any of the items listed under the consent agenda out of the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion to place on file the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the Finance Committee and Treasurer's Report. Mr. Treasurer.
Okay, I distributed an account summary statement at the beginning of the meeting. The Washington Trust checking account ending 630 had a beginning balance of 26,456. Deposits additional at 25,000. Checks and debits in the amount of 19,864 for an ending balance of 31,592. The Washington Trust money market ending in 2050, beginning balance of 2,970,775. Deposits and credits of 541,182. Checks of 277,538. Interest earned for the month was 6,782 for ending balance of 3,234,419. And the last account was the Washington Trust savings account ending in 550. The beginning balance of 1,451,615. Interest amount 4,238 for an ending balance of 1,455,852. So resulting total ending balance of all accounts, 4,721,863.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Payment of bills. May I have a motion to pay the bills as presented?
I got a question. Would you want to,
Yeah,
on the face of the bills, the Land Trust Alliance is blank, and there's a statement inside, $2,000. I don't know.
$2,050.
If it's paid, not paid, included,
We didn't pay it yet.
No, we haven't because you wanted to have a discussion about what the amount should be.
Yeah, so last year, we significantly increased our dues to the Rhode Island Land Trust Council. And we actually chose to pay in excess of what they would have suggested based on our size. So when their new request came out for an additional $50 to make it 2,050 rather than 2,000, I just sort of said, okay, I think we're already doing our bit. I don't see any reason to
I think we went up 300%.
something significant. So thank you for reminding me, Cheryl, but I think we should stick with $2,000 and call it a day.
Make that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay, so now we can pay that bill too.
so we need to add that into the facing page, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And I'm sure that Cheryl can do that. Great. Okay. So with that addition of the Rhode Island Land Trust Council, may I have a motion to approve the payment of the bills?
I approve. I make that motion.
Second,
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, thank you so much. Okay. Steve, or Cheryl or someone, credit card application and usage?
well, I checked with John. There's nothing really new to report this month.
Okay,
He's gonna get the application. It's gonna be in Cheryl's name. But he hasn't received it yet, and Cheryl hasn't received it, so we're still waiting.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
that's in process though.
Yeah.
Okay, great. The review of the transfer tax forms.
Well, I took a look at them myself. There's three here that are, just in my mind, that should be under the disputed column.
Yep.
Number 3494, 3495, and 3498.
Those are Epker, and
Christensen.
agreed.
That's what I thought anyway. And
Okay,
everything else seems,
And so it says that they're disputed. Have we disputed these or we're just noting that we don't agree?
we are noting that we don't agree with them.
Okay.
So,
right.
Somebody explain to 3498 to me. I don't understand.
That's what's on the sheet.
Yeah,
That's what they filled out on the sheet. I don't understand it either.
So this goes back to 1885 lot subdivision. At the end of, this is the house at the end, very end of Round Pond Road that is in, basically 50% of it's in Long Pond. And it's an area where there are a lot of 50 by 75 foot lots.
Sale price.
Did they-
and the taxable
did they pay
amount are
49.50?
nonsense.
right.
Oh, I agree with that, too, yeah.
so all they did, Ned, was there are 10 lots involved. 11 lots involved, times 450. Gave them a deduction exemption of 11 times 450, which is $4,950,000, which is the amount that they have on the amount taxable line.
Okay,
That's the math. That's how they got
okay.
to going zero.
So since we're working on this, and I feel really good about what Karen told us today about her work on this.
Yep.
But this happens with regularity.
Yes.
Could we draft a letter? So we're putting a stake in the ground with these people and send them a letter that says, by the way, this is disputed.
We haven't chosen to do that to date, as you know.
I know.
And it's not the only one this month. There is, as Steve said, there's another one. So why don't I have a conversation with Karen about whether or not we want to take that step on the going forward basis at this point, given that we are in discussion with the town, and it might be appropriate to do that.
Thank you.
So I will do that. Okay.
Only one other correction, and it's sale 3501 Michael Camara.
Yep.
The actual lot is 32-1. I could, but it's not a big thing, but the actual lot that was sold is 32-1, not 33-1.
Did he note it correctly on his form, or did we just pick it
No,
up?
they didn't, it's not correctly noted. It's noted and scratched out on the form. But if you go into the plat book,
Yeah.
He called it.
the trust is lot 33-1.
So, and he owns 33-2, you said?
I'm just saying that the transaction is the sale of plat 30, lot 33-1.
But you're saying he doesn't own 33-1?
I'm sorry, you're right. It's 32-1.
Okay, he owns 32-1. Okay.
Audio
She does.
32-7.
Well, I don't know.
That might have been
I think it was a one.
it might have been a 1 originally.
In another country, that's why.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yes.
not,
All right.
nothing major, but
So we may want to fix that in our sheet at least to say 32-. All right, anything further on that? Okay. Moving on. Policies and procedures, standing rules update. So we received an email from Heather Cook stating that the town council did indeed vote to accept and approve our standing rules. And since that time, we have now submitted for town council consideration the appendix number 7, which would be an additional appendix to what they have already seen, that being for the transfer tax policy and procedure. The town council has referred it to its council, who is now in discussion with our council about what we have proposed for appendix 7. Those discussions are going well, and we expect to hear back from our council about those discussions in the relative short term. And the town solicitor and our council seem to be working well together to push that along. So I think we are making progress. Any questions? Okay. Subcommittee reports, communication outreach. Let me just say for everyone's edification, we had a 7th trust member, Anya Rader Wallach, who was the chair of the Communications Outreach Committee. Anya is soon to start her job as interim town administrator and has therefore stepped down as a member of the Conservation Commission. It was her membership on the Conservation Commission that placed her on the Ag Trust. So with the resignation from the Conservation Commission, Anya is no longer on the Ag Trust. And I will offer an update, therefore, on communications and outreach. Although, Natalie, you're here too.
I'm here too.
So maybe you could, do you want to offer an update?
Sure.
I think that'd be fantastic. This is Natalie Jackson is our communications helper.
Yes, that's my title. So 2 things. One is the survey, which, as we know, went out in September. And at this point, I just wanted to update you all that we've gotten about 127-ish replies, which seemed like a pretty good response, and people were engaged, which was nice. So what we're looking to do is, I'm looking through the responses turning it into something that's meaningful, right? You know, it wasn't some kind of, you know, forensic survey that we did, but it's giving a good, you know, bunch of data that we can turn into something to use for ourselves, but also to communicate back to the community and, you know, thank them for participating and give them sort of an idea of some of the stuff that we've heard and what they told us. So we'd be recommending that, you know, maybe for the December meeting, we have something that we can show Greg and I, that Fred was doing the design, that would show sort of some, send back out to people, and then maybe talk about how else we, you know, use what was in there. That can be helpful. One thing also is, I guess we had, I'm not sure, Cheryl, do we know exactly how many went out?
2,500.
2,500. Okay, so a couple of things is, one is that we know some areas get them, so we want to make sure that we can sort of figure out the glitch, so going forward, we know if we do a mailing that we're hitting everybody and doing that properly. I'm not sure what that looks like.
I think there are some questions to be asked about how we did that in the first place. So there aren't 2,500 households in Little Compton, so how we delivered 2,500, I'm pretty sure we didn't. So that's another question. So.
Okay, but so, yeah, just for going forward. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of broad brush before I could talk more officially about the survey, but the good news is even as of, I think last week or this week, Cheryl said, you know, maybe 9 more. So things are still trickling in a little bit, but there was sort of an initial, many more people respond. Any questions before I move on?
Just to clarify, you said you received what, 125 back?
Yeah.
Out of the 2,500?
Yeah.
And you thought that was good?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably
That is-
around 5%. I mean, for a.
I wouldn't say that was too good, but maybe I'm not.
No, yeah.
For a
Huh?
voluntary survey, yeah, you don't usually get, you know, we weren't looking like we were gonna get 25 or 50%, so I thought it was good, and it was a good mix of, you know, it's a good mix of perspectives and comments, so. Yeah.
I think it doesn't sound good to me, but that's I'm not in that game.
So no, yeah, but a response rate sort of industry wide of 2 or 3% is considered good. Having said that, I don't think that something specific to our community in which we're asking for input on something as important as the Ag Trust. Yeah, I'd say 5% isn't great, but I'm not convinced it was 5%. So
You mean if fewer went out? Then
fewer, I think,
so to speak.
It's not how many went out, it's how many were delivered.
Right.
correct.
Because they weren't delivered.
So anyway,
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
no, not on that.
You get to talk about annual report, or was there something you wanted to do?
So, so I had a meeting with Natalie today on the annual report, and I think she and Greg are making some tremendous progress in thinking about what a more communicative, more informative, more helpful annual report from the Ag Trust looks like, and I appreciate all their help. One topic that we thought would be valuable for us to talk about as trustees is how do we deliver the annual report when it actually is complete? And at least in my own head, I'm thinking digitally, but then we'd have to have some way of sending it to people, and how do we do that? The other alternative is to do hard copy, spend a bunch more money on that. And then would have to mail it or distribute it through a variety of locations in town perhaps, so I just thought I'd get your ideas on what would we do with it and how would we use it?
So I'm not sure what you're planning for, production form, like how many pages it is or what size it is.
Well,
Or
it sort of
anything.
depends on if we're gonna.
So what I would suggest is we could do a hybrid delivery. So if the thing is gonna have 8 pages.
I think, we're sort of in the 4, 8, 16, where I'm thinking 8 myself. I don't know, Natalie, what you were thinking.
Yeah, I think we were talking about, Greg and I were talking about probably around 8, so some.
Okay, so call it 8.
Covering a few spreads.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Pages. I think we're under an obligation to provide it to everybody, whether they have a computer or not. And so what we could do is a condensed version that's even a postcard, something really brief that invites people to call or drop by. We could have them in Heather's office. People could come get them, so that we're printing way fewer.
Yeah.
Because they could get it digitally or on paper, but everybody gets a postcard, and that might give us practice actually mailing postcards. Since we seem to be postcard handicapped.
I think that's a good idea, because I don't know how many people are actually gonna read it. If we send,
So why produce a million of them?
we produce 2,500, you know,
Yeah,
and
that's
100 people read it, that's kind of.
In past, how did they go out, like past
In
years?
the past, it's been a piece of paper,
It's been in the paper, right?
in the paper and a letter, right, Cheryl? It's like it's an 8.5 by 11 or 2.
A little more than a page, maybe a page and a half, but it was kept condensed in order to put in the Secana Times.
That's what was put in this kind of time.
I like the idea of a postcard asking them to appear at town hall or somewhere and picking it up. That's not a bad idea.
Going to be attached to our website as
Oh,
well?
Also,
Definitely post on the website for sure.
they'll be able to get it paper or digital, and we won't incur as much, it won't be as expensive, something that.
So, yeah, so part of this and what Greg has to figure out is if we say, okay, we are going to print some, right? And we want sort of a booklet form, we want everything to be consistent, so that would drive the design as opposed to if we say, really, it's mainly just digital. Somebody might print out that PDF, but, you know, we're not looking for it to be in an actual sort of booklet format. So, you know, we don't necessarily need to decide right this minute, but that drives how we design it and what, you know, layout and space we have.
Well, I'm sure people have somehow figured out how to do both a digital as well as hard copy version that works.
Yes, no, definitely.
It would be digitally printed, which is a little bit of a limitation, but not that much.
Yeah.
Natalie?
Okay, but we do picture that we would actually physically print some. Yep. okay.
Yeah, like 100
So-
or 50.
I'd still like to do some, more like we're talking about summary, so executive summary. Still put in this kind of time.
Yeah.
Agreed,
That's the official sort of local
agreed.
communication document. And then have the full annual report, you know, at the website, have a link to it so people can get all the detail that they want, that we want to put in it. So we have a,
Do we, also, one of the things that Donna and I talked about is, what our email list looks like, and I know this is somewhat Cheryl's domain, but, and we got some from the survey, there were some people that did provide email. Do we know approximately how big our email list?
432.
Okay, all right, so that's a significant amount of people to be able to send it and tell them, okay, that's good to know.
So the idea of a summary of some sort that goes into Times is
Yeah.
now in your head?
Well, yeah, I think, because what giving a little bit more visual help and sort of background and education about what the trust does, sort of in general, not just a report on what happened this year. So what goes into the paper could be more similar to what you've done in the past, which is just kind of stripped down to the basics, but maybe have a call, like Mike just said, to say, hey, come to, you know, check it out at the website if you want to see the rest.
Perfect.
All right?
All right. Anything further for Natalie? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else on communications? No update on the website? No.
Further update on the website, where Anya sent me an email today asking about the link from Kyle.
Yep.
And she emailed Kyle asking for the link, so as soon as we get the link.
Okay.
Can I ask one other thing on that? So
Yep.
are we, let's say we have our PDF of the annual report of the, it's ready, whatever, will it be easy to accomplish? How to get that to a link and put something about it like on the homepage?
Not of the current website, because our homepage
Yeah,
now is,
Once we get onto the new website, it'll be no problem.
Okay.
Just having some fits and starts and getting out of the old website into the new one. So,
Yeah, we just want to make sure, obviously, we don't want to direct people to something that isn't there.
yeah, understood.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Stewardship.
Stewardship,
Not me.
not me, it's me.
Declined.
So I think that first one on, that we want to talk about is the Vineyards send in their entertainment application. And Carolyn and I went out and met with Marissa and Jim and discussed their plans, discussed what had happened in the previous year and the success of smaller events, more events, less music, and the continuation of expanding that format for the coming year. I think that in their initial application, it looked like that they were going to expand their parking area next to the winery and we discussed that, and that's not going to happen. They use that strictly for employees so the parking will be generally the same. The events will increase, but there'll be small events with acoustic music and seem to, from all the input from the rest of the town, to work out very well and positive. They had two large events, the wine run and a harvest fest. And then, of course, they hosted some events for the LC 350 and the car show.
Any input from the trustees?
Motion appropriate?
I think it is, and then we can call for, why don't we have we'll get the motion and then we can ask for input. How's that? Okay. May I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the plan as proposed.
Second.
Okay. Any trustees, any comments? Anyone from the public? Come on up. The microphone may or may not be on. I can't tell you.
The green light's on, so.
Okay.
Amy Very, 120 West Main Road. While I will admit that the new managers are pleasant to deal with, it has not improved. And as much as, I try not to complain, it is awful. It is still loud, it is still disturbing, not only to myself, but to my animals, my livestock. And now it is going from weekly to multiple times a week. The large events are very loud, to the point where one of the events, the Vineyard was kind enough to give me notice ahead of time so I could be away from my house for those 8 hours that the event was going on. For the couple hours I had to come back to tend to my animals, it was ridiculously loud. And so I appreciate that the town, and I understand I'm just one person, so who cares? Who cares? I would underscore the fact, and not to dredge up the past, but 1 or 2 people were disturbed by crop cannons, and we shut down sweet corn production in our town. So I understand very much how much the town loves the Vineyard and loves the idea of having an event or activities or what have you, but there needs to be something done with the amplified sound. And yes, it's not electric guitars that are ripping, for hours on end, but it's still amplified sound. And it is amplified sound directed directly at my house and at my barn and at my animals. And I think that there are simple ways to mitigate this that can allow for the entertainment to continue. I'm not saying that we need to shut down the Vineyard or stop their ability to have entertainment. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm not asking that the town can't host events there. I think that's a wonderful idea. However, having said that, there are simple fixes that can be put in place to mitigate the sound so myself and the other neighbors that have been continuously affected by the Vineyard don't continue to be affected by the noise that's coming from there. Simple things would be either a sound barrier wall or relocating the direction of the speakers and putting it toward Peckham Road versus at residential properties. That would be a simple fix that will allow the Vineyards events to continue. You'll probably never see me or hear from me ever again, and everyone would go away happy. And, you know, there's lots of noise that comes from Peckham Road. So, you know, you can hear traffic there all throughout the summer. I don't think that directing the sound towards Peckham Road would egregiously impact any of the properties that would be between the speakers and the road itself.
That is actually the plan, I mean, is to, instead of having the loading dock, which faces you, we actually put in there, we talked with Mike about this, is facing it towards it's smaller and facing it towards the winery buildings instead.
I think it respectfully, I think that's going to create essentially like a half shell, like you see it at a, you know, any outdoor venue where it's gonna refract the sound, amplify it. You know, and I don't mean to talk about you.
Well, that's towards Peckham's Road, just like you mentioned, that's what.
And maybe I misread the way the configuration of the photograph, because
Not going towards your address, coming just within the front of the winery towards the building, so that's towards Peckham's. Like, I think we're all on the same page on that.
Okay.
And I think the goal is to continue working together to hear what the impact is for you and what that volume level is where it's not impacted. I mean, I think we're on the same page to completely stop, you know, like, we don't want the impact that you have.
John, I appreciate that. And again, like I said, it's a pleasure working with the managers of the Wisconsin Vineyard. It's a pleasure working, and they're very responsive. It's just, I can't continue to live at my house of it. And I couldn't even in good conscience sell to anyone because they won't be able to enjoy the property either. And it's just, to impact for all the outdoor, you know, the months that where you would be outside, to not be able to enjoy them because of the sound. And I appreciate very much that you're mitigating it still. It's something needs to be done.
Amy, do you have plans to discuss this in front of the town council tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know it was on for the town council tomorrow, but yes, I guess I do now.
What, it was on I assume it was on the agenda that was just published.
I don't know. And I don't keep on top of this. Another neighbor notified me of this, so that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, I don't have the town council.
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
Is it on the agenda?
Pending how tonight goes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we're taking up, sorry.
no, it's good. So I'm glad to hear that it will be on the town council agenda, because I think that may be the place that your concerns around the music may be best directed. The trust is here to make sure that the conservation values of the deed to development rights are upheld, and that the activity on the vineyard is in keeping with the agricultural intent of the deed to development rights. And I think that based on the conversations that the managers and Mike is, I think that for our purposes, I think that what they are suggesting meets the standards as set forth. Now, another trustee can offer a different opinion, but that's sort of what I think I've heard from those that I've spoken to on the trust. So I just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
I know, and I would underscore that the council reviewing the application did highlight that it is an amplification of events, a number of events from the previous year. And again, that's an intensification of use, and that does fall within the purview of the agricultural trust, and whether or not that is a proper use or the intended use for the land that falls within your purview. And so I would suggest that the continuation of increasing the amount of entertainment and increasing the amount of non-agricultural uses for an agricultural property bastardizes the purpose of the trust and preserving the agricultural lands.
Well, I think that's a good interpretation for some. I'm not sure I agree with all of it, however. I think that the vineyard will be open for a variety of days throughout the year. And the activity that they are proposing is simply ancillary to event of coming to the vineyard, having a glass of wine, enjoying the venue. And while I don't dispute that you may be correct about the impact that the music is having on you, I think that the managers are trying to create an environment where you can enjoy your property and they can have the benefit of conducting business. So the increasing number of small events, at least to the way that I think about it, and again, my fellow trustees may have a different opinion, doesn't rise to the level of that they are now doing things on the vineyard that wouldn't be in keeping with the intent of the agricultural journey that they are on in managing the vineyard. I think that if you want to continue to talk about the music, I think that belongs at the town council level, not necessarily here with us. But I appreciate you coming out and talking to us about your concerns. And I'm glad that Marissa and James were here to hear your concerns. So.
Well, I'm only gonna comment relative to we're interested in supporting the industry and the business of the winery and making use of the property for that purpose. And they seem to have worked very hard to minimize the sound disruption, and I'm sure that can always be improved, but smaller events, more of them, selling more wine is in keeping with what we're trying to do.
So I believe that a motion was made. I just want to, okay, so a motion's been made, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. I'd also like to ask your approval of sending a letter to the town council stating acceptance of the application and suggesting that it be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any dissensions on either motion? I didn't hear any, but maybe I didn't ask. Any dissension? So we had unanimous on both. Cheryl, okay, so I'll sign that letter after we are through. Okay.
All right, next activity is a request from the Hart family. And I don't know, they sent us a whole bunch of overheads, color slides.
Are the Harts here, by the way? Okay.
Excellent. Is it possible for you, Rusty, to pull up any of those?
Okay.
You want to have, please go ahead.
Well, my wife, Dawn, and I recently purchased the property at 161 Old Harbor Road, right on the Westport.
No, just the remote control.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Oh, for the TV?
Oh, sorry. Before we, I talked to Ned about this, and as far as I know, no one from the trust has gone out. You've been out there, Carol? Yes. No one from the trust has gone out and walked the property. So before we get into a big, long discussion, maybe we should send a couple of us out there to take a look.
Well, let's understand what they're asking.
Okay.
Yeah, would you like me to walk through the slides here? There's a lot of words, but I can pretty much summarize it with a picture.
I think let's go to one picture.
I think they're slide 4. This one is important
Yeah, so that's a picture of our property in the middle outlined by, in the yellow there. The Little Compton Housing Trust is to our north. You own the property to the north and to the west. If you were to look there, that's perfect.
Okay.
Therein lies the problem. That is a Rhode Island DEM designated wetland that bisects my property from wall line to wall line. And there's no way for me to go from the high water, the non-wetland area to the east where we're building our house, to the highland area to the west. It's about 1.5 acres on the west side of the property without transiting the wetland. Now, I can walk the wetland. Rhode Island DM said there's no problem with me physically walking through the wetland, but I can't drag a cart. I can't take a wheelbarrow through there. And our intent is to set up a small apiary on the west side of the property out there. The wetland follows the 110-foot contour on the map there. And if you look just north of our property, where our two properties bisect, there's an old farm road that bisects what was probably, according to the previous owners, the Corys, what was at one time an agricultural pond. That road is not considered part of the wetland. So it's about 3 to 4 feet above the 110-foot elevation. It remains dry all year. I'm requesting permission to transit that section of your property, to simply walk north, walk westbound, and then re-enter my property on the western 1.5 acres there to get to the apiary. Not because I need to walk it, but because carrying honey is heavy and I'm not getting any younger. So if we're gonna enter into a commercial operation.
8, Rusty?
I'm sorry?
No, I'm just having Rusty go to the slide 8 that shows one more. All right, there,
Yep,
right there.
Blue line. That's about a 350 to 400 foot path of an old country road that's well worn. The trees don't grow in the path because it's compacted soil. And when Carol came out, looking to expand that property for hiking trails, I'd say that's probably a natural section of your hiking trails. In exchange for letting me transit that section of property, 4 or 5 feet wide by 400 feet long, I would keep it free of debris and trees and growth and stuff. Absolutely happy to meet you anytime to come out and show you the property.
Very good.
I got one question, Don.
Yep.
How will you get from your property to the road? Because the road isn't right up against the boundary line.
It is in fact right up against the rock wall.
It is.
And there are already natural breaks in the rock wall where I suspect somebody was already doing this. The vegetation has been cut, not recently, but certainly within the last 2 or 3 years.
So the road is on our boundary and your boundary.
The yellow line is actually a rock wall, traditional rock wall. The road is wholly on your side of the property.
Yep.
And it runs farther, it kind of right where my blue line ends there, where I come back on my property to the west. It makes about a 45-degree turn and then shoots off to the northwest. I've never walked it beyond the yellow line there. And I think if you look at the blue line and continue along my wall, you can see where there's no vegetation that grows all the way through the Little Compton Housing Trust section, probably at one point leading to Old Harbor Road.
It used to be driven.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, it looks like there's.
People would drive from John Dyer all the way to Old Harbor.
It would appear to look that way to me, from what I've seen.
Justin, what's the green box?
The light green box is our orchard. That's where we have, we planted apple trees and peach, plum and cherry.
And how do you get, so you go, is the driveway ultimately to the south?
No, our driveway that we use is an easement through the city of the town of Westport. Those 2 yellow lines there that go to Old Harbor.
Yeah, south, okay.
Yeah. We have a 20-foot easement that takes us down into Little Compton.
Okay. If we were to send a couple of trustees out, is there anything that says you need this tomorrow? Okay.
Whatever's convenient, if you're happy to take you out there, we're welcome to walk it on your own. It's your property. It's beautiful property.
Yeah.
Okay.
But would it be okay with you if we came in your driveway?
Yeah, it's absolutely fine with me. The neighbors that live in the gray house there on Old Harbor Road,
Yeah.
no, the next one up.
Oh, yep.
There's a small parking area that's on their property. And when the property was for sale, that they get notification that somebody's parking in their driveway. So, right where the T is in Westport,
Yeah.
is a little parking area. You can't drive right now unless you have a big 4x4. You can't drive down that road because there's some glacial boulders that have deposited themselves over the years on the yellow area there. I bottomed my truck out of
You
it.
can't drive down, meaning towards
Unless
house
it's a
site.
4x4 right now, because there's no actual.
But you'll be making it into a driveway.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Yep.
When do you plan to start construction?
Well,
Bad
we're
question.
negotiating on home prices, when Andrew Rigo is available to bring some dynamite out and blow up a rock that's in the driveway. I hopefully before the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm glad. Then I'll go up.
Fantastic.
Great.
Great, thanks, Lee.
There's a lot of gunshots the last couple of days coming from the west there. I don't know what's going on, so maybe wear orange.
We know exactly what's going on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you guys want to take a walk and
Yep. We'll
check it out?
We'll do it well.
Have you been out there?
I have not.
You want to come?
Sure. All right. Great.
So I think what we'd also like to do is check with council about the methodology that we could create an arrangement. There's been some recommendation that licensing might be a way to do this, that gives us total control and is very easy to work with.
Okay. And that was some of the work that you had done with, I assume, Chuck?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Makes sense? We good? Next,
Next property is,
Kudo. Or should we say Nerona?
so that has been closed. And Carolyn's been in touch with DEM. We're gonna have a conference call with them. I do not know the status of the testing, soil testing. Sign proposal, which is in your packet, that would be relatively simple, have the logo.
Did I miss that? It was in the packet?
You gave us a quotation for two different versions.
Oh,
Gave you a quote, but I didn't give you an actual.
Well,
There's no picture of it.
that's what I meant. Okay.
There's no picture. It's just
Yeah.
a name with the logo. So that's not an elaborate sign like,
So at one point, we had talked about, and I'm not suggesting we start here on this property, but at one point, we talked about a sign convention for all of our property, all those that we might want to post as Ag Trust properties. I don't know how far we pushed that whole conversation. And I'm not suggesting we complete it now specifically for the Nerona property. I guess my reaction to that whole thing is, let's just get a simple sign on the property
that's what we're talking about.
and let's not try to satisfy.
we still need to come up with a sign program,
We do,
but this is
this isn't,
a different purpose.
yes,
And it doesn't have to conform and we can just get it done.
that's what I was hoping someone would,
Yes.
of intelligence would say.
So, and we have a recommendation and a quote for two signs.
Great. And you've already worked that out. And so,
And the lesser of the two,
So what's
$150. So
what's in your packet is he can either do what's on John and June Goulart and just put the new information, in it, or he can give you two new designs to look at.
and I don't think we need any new design. I mean, we're trying to keep it simple,
yeah.
inexpensive,
So what I
satisfy
exactly.
Anita and we're there.
Completely agree.
So if we could have authorization for $200 to work with Mr. O'Toole to get it done.
So I can't remember. So there were two Goulart signs. One was simply words and then one had a logo.
Are we talking about Maple Avenue?
Yes, the one that's on Goulart now has,
We should let Chris just start over, ignore that. That would be confusing to
Okay,
go back to that now.
okay.
so what am I telling Chris?
To design a nice sign and we don't,
Different from Goulart.
yeah, we don't even need our logo on it, in my opinion. We need to satisfy Anita.
Okay. And I think at some point you suggested what was going to go on the sign.
It was basically the same information that was on Goulart's. It had,
This is gonna say Nerona sign, Nerona Preserve.
Anything else?
It's gonna have, my understanding was we're gonna put our logo on it.
Okay.
But don't put the Goulart logo on it.
No.
No,
That's what I
right.
tell you.
Yes, exactly.
What logo is that we're gonna put on it?
Pardon?
The one that we've been using recently is the one, it's got a lighthouse, a stone wall, a little Compton agriculture.
that's the one you want on this new sign.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Except my only concern about that logo, Cheryl, was when you said we didn't have better art for that logo, then
I'm sure Chris can,
I'm sure you can fix it somehow.
Plus,
So it's the Daniel Nerona Preserve.
Yes.
That's it.
And there was some other verbiage that you had
yeah,
down somewhere, Cheryl.
yeah, I did. I sent it to Chris. I think it said, Daniel Nerona Preserve, acquired October 20,
25.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's in the packet.
I don't,
I don't know if you guys want it. I'll read what it says.
yeah, please.
Daniel Nerona Preserve acquired October 2025, open to the public. Further information available at our website, www.lcat.net.
beautiful.
I think that's too much.
Too much. Yeah, I think that's too
I
much.
think it's name the preserve. Anita's happy with that.
Done.
People can go to the website if they want to get information,
And
because we're not ready for
Yeah, right.
anymore.
when we have our sign program, there'll be another sign
Yeah.
right along.
Okay, fine.
So just the background that we've got now with the lighthouse, Daniel Nerana Preserve.
I will make a motion that we have a sign with our logo, the Daniel Nerona Preserve, and we spend not to exceed $200.
I'd second that.
On the design of the sign or on the sign? On the design, on the design of the sign.
Once we get the design of the sign, then we can have someone build it.
Fine. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, I already seconded.
All right.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you so much.
Also make a motion that Carol Lynn Traki work with Rhode Island DEM to determine a plan to use that property as an extension for parking for Simmons Mill.
Second the motion.
Any discussion?
Yes.
So to me, using, so there's where do people park? Is it on the road itself? Or do we create a little turnoff off the driveway? You know, you can think that through. But I think the key is we got to improve to a certain extent, the landing to get out onto the pond.
So I think what I would.
Not we, I know, we, yeah, yes.
That if you are all in agreement that in general, the purpose of acquiring the property was to put it to use for something both locally and to make it available for the boat launch for Simmons. And all I would ask is to direct me to go talk to DEM and open that conversation, get some more information, come back to you and say, here's what we think will work, and we need to
Fantastic.
not do it or decide or spend money or not or
That's
whatever.
what I think I just said. If I didn't just say that, that's what I meant.
What I heard was more or less talking about our property rather than talking about how DEM could improve the access to the pond, that's all.
Right, what, because
Because if they don't, there's no sense in parking because there's no way to get onto the pond.
Right.
that's how we introduced that conversation though, from our property, because we have no
Dog in that fight.
Right.
fight for the access to the pond.
Correct.
And
So-
this will take several years.
Yeah, but there's no reason for us to, anyway, good.
So I think a motion to have Carolyn work with Rhode Island DEM to come up with some idea of how our property can be used as,
In a supportive way.
thank you,
Okay,
for what happens at Simmons Mill.
got it. So that was made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, thank you.
How big do you want the sign? Because I'm sure Chris is gonna ask how big.
On the,
The last one was 20 by 16.
it was on the quote.
Okay.
That seems big to me, but, oh. The reason why I say it's big is if it's literally gonna have the Daniel Nerona Preserve, it doesn't need to be this high, but I will leave that to bigger minds.
Properly proportioned as determined by the designer.
There you go.
The quote was for 20 inches by 16.
I know.
So let him design a sign, 20 by 16. If we don't like it, we'll send it back.
Art to the artists.
Okay. You okay?
What would make you think otherwise?
Okay. Green, just a quick update. We're slowly but surely moving this one along. This is the donation the Greens made at Simmons Mill. The conservation easement granted to DEM was languishing at DEM because they didn't have a legal description of the property. Legal description of the property has now been figured out. And now we are at the point where we're adding it to title insurance. And the title insurance company has asked for a survey. We don't have a survey, but we're trying to work with them to see what we can do instead. So that's kind of where we are, slowly but surely moving the ball along.
Was there any reason we needed to get the historic Rhode Island? It was about their homestead. Why did?
Yeah, there was an earlier email where Elliot from Commonwealth or from wherever title company had just mentioned to Joe that he saw that the owners of the property had just recorded a 76-page easement. And Joe was simply responding to, it. Yeah, the easement was for the historic house and barn.
Right.
I don't think the earlier email chain was on this specific one that I sent you, which is why you had the question. But it had nothing to do with us.
Thank you.
Okay. General stewardship update.
General stewardship update. So the BDR's completed and in review on Goulart A, Goulart B, Valor Brooks. The BDR initiated on Beck, Waddles, Ham, and Merrow. Follow-up biannual farm lease monitoring underway. Easement and fee monitoring on remaining properties underway. NRCS easement monitoring is completed.
Wow.
So we don't have any recommendations. And then under general maintenance, we have the small BHS field is in line to be mowed. Douglas has been mowed. Cole has been mowed. John and June Goulart tree work is, I think, in process. And the investigation of the right of way with Ham is to be determined.
And
Yes.
BDR on Merrow is done.
No, I did the site visits for Ham and Beck Wells yesterday. I'm gonna try to visit Merrow maybe tomorrow. Or
Adam, would you call me if you, don't call me while you're there, but while you're there, be attentive to the eastern boundary line. And if you see anything like a construction there, let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Right, Wayne? Is that what you were? And maybe we'll go there when we go to that, when we do that heart walk.
If you go there in the next week, just let me know what you see, because I might not get there till early next week.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Whenever you go, I'm not trying to interfere with your calendar.
Anything else, Mike?
Now it's time when I can, okay.
So Luke Driver came because he'd like to introduce himself to us. He's very generously volunteered to help us where we have trail needs and some other things that he'd like to tell us what he does and who he is.
Come on up.
All right. Grateful to be here, grateful you're all here. Luke Driver, 43 Willow. And I just wanted to start off, there were two things that really shaped my image of Little Compton in my mind. One was driving down West Main Road in the early 70s when that tunnel of elm trees was there, and all you could see was fields and walls, fields and walls, fields and walls, and it's gone. It's disappeared under a tangle of bittersweet and grapevine, and I've been building walls on and off for 50 years. And about 8 years ago, I went back to it full time, and I've been building walls all over for very wealthy people. I decided I want to go home for lunch. I want to stay in town. And so I'm shifting my business. I do all dry stack construction. I love old farm walls, single stack farm walls, nothing fancy. I'm envisioning a time when we'll be able to see that pastoral nature of the town again. 300 feet of mason cut red granite wall had been sitting there covered for decades. And what I discovered when I went into there is that the ecosystem's dead. There's nothing under it except dry, bone dry earth. You have, multiflora rose, any natural bushes, gets covered with a canopy of grapevine. And I've come across grapevine that's literally, I found a bittersweet, I counted 41 rings. So the bittersweet, basically what happens, you have this tangled nest, you guys probably all know this, but when I took my mini excavator and I picked up this canopy, everything was dead underneath it. And so the multiflora rose gets through, so it can stay alive. The bittersweet goes through everything and up into the trees. And it grows 60 feet and it's strangling the canopy trees everywhere. And, I always have my eye on stone walls, but if you drive and the leaves are gone now, but I cannot unsee grapevine leaves everywhere I go from the road. So I'm here tonight because the old Willow Farm at 39 Willow Avenue, I remember when it was a dairy farm, and when I was 12 years old, I talked my way onto Jack Huppy's tractor and helped him cut and rake and bale the hay and put it up in the barn there. And that, I think I was 12. I remember what that Little Compton was, and I'd like to see it come back. So I've started shifting my business towards saving our stone walls, SOS, you may have seen it, signs around. So in addition to clearing walls, I'm mending walls, which means it's not a complete tear down. Walls can be mended. They pretty much fit like this, they're built properly, and over time they'll separate. And they can be pushed back in and rescued. If it comes apart, then you have to rebuild it. So my focus is restoration and maintenance. And so
I'd like to give you guys a couple days of my time. I just bought a Takeuchi track loader, biggest one they make, with the drum mulcher. I just started using it today on a project for somebody. And I got a flail mower for my mini excavator. And so Matt took me to see an old cart trail, I think it was. And I'm happy to, you know, my parents raised me to understand as a citizen, I have an obligation to participate and to give back. And I'm at a point in my career right now where I can do that. So I think you guys have 2,000 acres. I
Give or
really
take.
wanted to try to address this invasive species because it's really become a huge problem. So anyway, and I want to find out more about, you know, out for contracted services, that kind of stuff too. So anyway, question.
Appreciate you coming by, Luke. That's fantastic.
Thanks, Luke.
Anything else before we move on? Hunting and recreation, Steve, anything on hunting and things go?
No, nothing I can think of.
Anybody getting any deer?
I haven't heard, so I guess that's good news. I don't know. No complaints. How you?
Tell you personal experience.
Yeah, okay. The East Side Trail Project, I just wanted to offer a quick update. And if I've already done this, please excuse me. But Ned and I have been focusing our effort in trying to get the trail project from Simmons Mill to the Old Harbor Refuge in Westport, which more or less goes on a west to east sort of direction. And we have a corridor for the most part that connects those two spots. Carolyn and I went out to meet with the folks at Audubon last week. Last week. Went to meet with them last week because they have a fee-owned property as well as an easement property that we would love access to. Carol did a wonderful job at putting together a whole variety of materials for them to understand what we'd like to do. They are going to consider it in a subcommittee meeting in early December. I think they appreciated the effort that we made to go out and sort of fill them in on what Ned's been up to. So I have hope that we'll be able to actually have a trail corridor that can then be worked on by Luke and others to sort of make this a reality. So that's kind of where we are on the trail project.
Could we see those materials maybe next month?
We could.
Send them to me or?
No, I mean, it was basically just a conversation, so we kind of talked through things and looked through things, but I promised Jeff some follow-up stuff, and I definitely send it to you, or I can send it to all of you, but I'll send it to you now.
Thank you.
Great. Land Protection Committee, the Nature Conservancy. This is are these the bumblebee lots? Carol, Cheryl?
Is it 40?
40, yeah, 44.
Yeah.
John, you want to say anything about the update on the bumblebee lots? Anything to say? Maybe not.
We're hoping to close, well, we're scheduled to close. I want to say December 5th for the central lot, which is 44-3, and the end of January for 40-4.
Wow, that's quick progress.
We're still fundraising, so we may have to defer a little bit, but we're making good progress.
Oh, good.
The other lot that you have listed there is a gift, so.
That's a donation, right?
We're gonna let the donors tell us when that would be handy. We want to do it sooner rather than later.
Which is the donation lot, Don?
44-5.
You probably, so Cheryl, in the future, we can probably take that one off because that's That's a TNC donation lot.
That one has the most massive holly trees I've ever seen. It's just spectacular.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
And I appreciate your talk, but part of this, what was driving these acquisitions was the Benton Trail project, which we've been trying to link around a circle. So I've been looking at scenarios on that, and wonderful, fingers crossed, we're gonna make that happen.
Ned, anything on transaction templates?
Yes, Steve asked to take a look at them. I sent Steve two. We have 4 proposed templates with and without kind of carve outs for houses. So, and then additionally, we have a what will become a trail easement template. It's an adaptation of State Line Farm. So we have them. We need to go through them. It's not really legal work. We need to go through them and make sure that all of the elements that are optional or we'll be making choices are actually appropriate. In other words, there's been suggestions of what could be in certain gaps. So it's a bunch of work.
So in terms of,
we can do, if a couple of people sat down and just did it, it'd probably take 2 hours.
so in terms of process, you've seen these drafts that have the gaps in them.
Yeah, I have them.
You have them, and you and Steve are,
Well, Steve didn't express that. He just said he was curious where they were, so I sent him some.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind helping out if it's beneficial. I haven't read them yet, but I did receive them, yeah.
Yeah, so read them. We'll figure out how we get it done and who does it.
Okay, so I want you to,
Decide today.
so you two have it for the time being, and then you'll come back and suggest how we can all.
I think everybody ought to look at them. I knew nobody would have time to read them before the meeting.
Yeah.
But you guys ought to take a look at them.
Do you want us to do that?
Input.
Do you want us to do it before you and Steve go through them?
Yeah, I want you to have the choice of doing it at least. I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen.
I think you should sort of massage them into a good place and send them along.
Okay.
All right.
You're gonna send them to us,
Well,
or someone is.
after you do some more massaging or not?
I can send them to you tomorrow. I'm gonna see them.
I'm like,
All right, send it to Mike too.
I'm supposed to react.
All right. Maybe just send them around to everybody. Okay. Gonna send them around to everybody. Anything else? New applications, although this really was not an application. We received an email from Thomas Chase about a piece of property that he evidently is listing adjacent to Mayshall's tree farm, although I couldn't find it.
It's the Cotta property on Long
Yeah,
Highway.
We've had that.
Say again?
Before, I
It's
think.
the Cotta property on Long Highway. It hits Mayseal in the back.
Yeah, long highway south, right toward.
South side of Long Highway, Mayseal is on Maple.
Yes.
On the west.
So Mayseal goes through, this comes from Long Highway, abuts it on the backside. It's listed for sale.
So it's
still
Billy Ryan.
the Ryan's property, next to Ryan's.
North of Ryan, 26 acres.
Oh, it's got a sign on it.
That's an active listing.
But when I looked at the plat maps, I did not see.
No, I know
what's it
what,
listed under.
I know.
It is,
The guy in the email is the Realtor.
The guy in the email is the realtor?
it is
Who
3160.
doesn't know what a plat lot?
Yeah, he's a real.
He's a realtor. Oh.
3164-1, 3165-1, and
That,
3166-1.
I now understand. He's a realtor. I thought he was offering his land, so we sent him and
The application.
he should submit an application, but he's not the landowner.
John and Kathy.
No, but I thought being the Realtor, he would take it to the landowner.
Okay. Did you know he was the realtor? I missed that. No, you didn't. Okay. All right. My bad. I missed that.
So what's the aggregate acreage?
It's 26. If I'm remembering correctly. It's listed for sale.
Do you have it? No, you don't.
I can.
Cotta, John,
Chris Carter used to know.
John and Kathleen Cotta, right there. Thank you, Rusty.
So,
And then the lot above and the lot to the east.
so this is Maple Avenue.
Yeah, that's Billy and Hope.
It's Billy Ryan, Long Highway,
Okay.
and the west end of Long Highway right there to give you some idea of what it is. So you said it was 65-1 as well, Carol?
I think they're all listed.
It
They're
is.
all owned, 65-1, 64-1, and 66-1, all three. And Ryan is actually to the south, 55.
Sorry,
Right,
yes.
right.
It
Sorry.
doesn't-
That's not
it doesn't
right.
show up yet.
That's Goulart, isn't it?
Mayseal.
No, this is
Mayfield, excuse me,
Mayfield.
that's Mayfield, I meant to.
Yeah, this is Mayfield.
Yeah.
This is
Billy's
Ryan,
right
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So this is owned by Akata, but John, not Jane.
Oh, sorry, I think it's James, so I think it's the two then.
So these two are owned by James.
64-1 and 66-1.
What is the aggregate acreage of those two?
I believe it's 26 together.
Good question.
Do we have an application?
No.
No.
I think we had one in-
Yep.
Agreed.
Okay.
So looks like aggregate acreage is about 21. 21 acres.
Okay.
So wait, hold on. We want to move on from this conversation, but do we want Cheryl to write back and say, if you'd like us to consider something, please fill this out and send it?
I think she's already done that.
The application already.
Oh, great, so.
Yeah.
and did
You
we get it?
responded to me. You said, I think this is
Yeah,
appropriate.
you said good letter back to Cheryl.
Yeah. Did we get it?
No, we haven't gotten an application back.
I said, this is appropriate.
Yes, you don't, yeah, okay, right. Well, Ned, in Ned speak, that's pretty high praise. So.
I accept that criticism.
All right. John, any Nature Conservancy update other than what we may discuss in exec? No.
Not, it's all been.
Okay.
Okay. Then may I have a motion to move?
Adjournment.
Do you not let me have any opportunity to actually?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Wait, no, I guess we shouldn't have
I
adjourned.
don't know why you're adjourning.
Oh, we shouldn't have adjourned. We need to move to executive session.
Excuse me.
Okay.
We do exact.
Yeah, wrap.
Could you go get that?
May I have a motion to leave open and entering into exec?
So moved.
Second.
So, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it, Luke.
Thank you.
John, you're leaving us?
Sorry?
You're leaving? That's fine. Just,
Oh, you want me to stay?
no, it's totally up to you.
Give me a second.
All right.
Got anything to say?
Short though.